Hello, I'm Andy Coulson and welcome back to Crisis What Crisis and another Crisis Comforts episode. Short but perfectly formed advice for getting you through the tough times. As regular listeners or viewers will know, at the end of our conversations, we ask all of our guests for their 3 crisis comforts, those go-tos for inspiration and strength during the challenging times. And over the years, we've accumulated some incredibly interesting, much more importantly, useful tips for anyone who might be feeling the weight of their own difficulties. I've just had an entertaining and at times very moving conversation with breakfast show radio host Christian O'Connell, a man who has enjoyed huge success, both here in the UK and more recently on the other side of the world in Melbourne. During our chat, Christian was emotional, frankly, when he spoke about the crippling anxiety and panic attacks, which briefly forced him off the airwaves. But he also gave us some brilliant tips on how to manage those feelings when they hit through simple, guided breathwork. It's a proper conversation and one which I'm sure will resonate and be extremely useful for many others. So as always, I urge you to listen to his full episode. You can find links below in the notes. But if you're short on time, then you can listen now to Christian's 3 crisis comforts in this quick taster.
Number 1 is nature, but I'll make it really specific. It's trees. This necklace I'm wearing, my kids got for me a couple of years ago, and there's an acorn and an oak leaf. My eldest daughter got a tattoo when she left home 2 years ago, and it was an oak leaf. And oak trees have been a big part of my life since I was a kid. I love the power, the beauty, the calmness of an oak tree. And in my tough times a couple of years ago, in my mid-40s, I found myself being called to go and just sit under this oak tree near where I lived in Dorking. And it happened again a couple of years ago, and I said, oh my God, I'm back under an oak tree. And then I would take teammates that were having tough times back under the oak trees. And they used to joke about it, the magic of Christian under the oak trees. And I thought one day about doing a podcast called Under the Oak Trees. And so, you know, my kids, they would always text me and go, where are you? I go, I'm just driving to the oak trees. And they go, is everything all right? I went, yeah, no, everything's great. I can come here just to sort of hang out. And so for me, it's nature. As a kid that loved nature, and going for walks with my dad, nature brings me alive. It brings me healing, because I think when we see nature, it takes us into something, the mystery of life being more than just this physical shell. What is it? This mystery of life. And sometimes you just stand, you look at the sun or whatever's going on, the light coming between the trees one day, and you feel the magic and the awe and the mystery. And that in itself, even just going for a walk in nature, is so healing and life-affirming, and it's free. And so that's my number 1 thing, that. The other one, and I touched on it, and again, it's free. You can learn all the different techniques online on YouTube and that, is breathwork. Breathwork is a daily thing for me. It's always going to be part of my life. Not just to help with panic attacks, but actually to get energy. When I get up in the morning at 4:15, you might guess, I'm really tired. And so doing a few rounds of different breathwork techniques, that really, really, really helps me. Breathwork is the first thing we do in life. It will be the last thing you do in life as well. It's this incredible way for you to to balance yourself out if you're feeling stressed, or if you want to get energy very quickly. It's better than caffeine. So breathwork's been a big one for me. And then the other one would be laughter. I know it sounds really like stupid, because sometimes when you're having a tough time, you're like, there's nothing funny right now. And the absence of laughter is when you go, my God, it's so bad. There's nothing to laugh about. You force yourself to go and watch something on TV, a dumb clip on YouTube. Laugh. You're worthy of laughter. Laughter is still the best coping mechanism there is for this messy thing that is being a human being. It will always be the number 1 thing that grounds me. A laugh sometimes. Sometimes I was in Ireland last year for my 50th. I went on a walking tour. I joined 35 strangers in Ireland, and I was laughing every day. And there is just something so grounding and important about laughter. And I remember being in this pub one night, and I was waiting for these other people. I was by myself, and I was chatting to this Irish guy, and I realised he was the local priest. And he said to me, we were talking about laughter, and I told him a story about Australia moving here. And he laughed, and he went, that's actually a really sad story. But he goes, the best stories in life are the ones that are both very sad and very funny. And he downed his Guinness and walked out. And I was almost like, did that guy exist? I got a pen and paper and wrote that down. And it's true. It can be very scary and very funny. There's something transformative about laughter, and even letting yourself have a laugh in a tough time. It doesn't mean that the tough thing isn't going to go away, but it just shifts something in your body.
Christian, amazing. 3 brilliant crisis comforts. Thank you again for joining us today. I really enjoyed it, really appreciate it.
Anytime, Andy. It was lovely to chat to you. Thank you for your questions and your time.
If you've enjoyed this conversation with Christian, then please do leave us a review. And if you found it helpful or even inspiring, we'd be delighted if you recommend us to your friends. You can watch the full episodes on YouTube, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and if you hit subscribe, you'll find an awful lot more crisis conversations. As always, full transcripts are available on our website along with links. Just head to crisiswhatcrisis.com, and thanks so much for listening.